The story begins deep in the night in Ukraine, where a team of scientists, backed by the British government, is conducting the final stage of research on a revolutionary AI-powered weapons system codenamed Hunter-Killer. Suddenly, a group of highly trained and ruthless terrorists launches a surprise attack on the facility. They systematically execute the scientists one by one. Their sole objective is to steal the advanced AI weapon, which, if it falls into the wrong hands, could trigger a catastrophic collapse of the world's economy and global security. In response to this crisis, the headquarters of the British Secret Intelligence Service summons our central character, Nitin. The general informs him that the stolen device is now in the possession of an international arms trafficking syndicate led by the notorious gangster Greg. The general explains to Nitin that if this device reaches any terrorist organization, it could cripple the world's financial infrastructure and military communication networks. To prevent such a disaster, the weapon must be recovered at any cost. At first, Nitin refuses to take on another mission outside his personal commitments. However, when the general reminds him that this is a mission to protect all of humanity, Nitin agrees. But he has one condition. He wants his longtime acquaintance, the world's finest reclamation specialist, Orson, on the mission. The general strongly objects, saying that Orson is highly unconventional, his methods are extremely dangerous, his demands are outrageous, and wherever he goes, chaos follows. Nitin confidently replies, "They may be killers, but he's Orson. No one else can pull this off." Eventually, the general gives his approval. Nitin tracks Orson down in Africa, where he is enjoying a peaceful vacation. Upon hearing about the mission, Orson immediately refuses. Nitin then plays two powerful cards. First, he offers an enormous payment of $250 million, far beyond what Orson expected. Second, he explains the terrifying capabilities of the weapon, saying that it can be used to accomplish virtually anything and could unleash unimaginable devastation across the world. After learning the true power of the device, Orson can no longer stay away. He accepts the mission. To support Orson, Nitin assembles a small elite team. Sarah is a world-class IT expert and hacker belonging to one of the most elite hacking groups on the planet. JJ is a calm, highly skilled sniper and tactical specialist. Their first objective is to recover a special hard drive from a man named Donald. The hard drive contains critical information about the stolen weapon. Orson and JJ wait for Donald at London Gatwick Airport. Meanwhile, Sarah sits in a separate room and hacks into the airport's entire CCTV system, taking complete control of the surveillance network. They successfully identify Donald. However, a second team suddenly enters the scene, led by Mike. Mike's operatives are also after Donald. They quickly overpower several members of Orson's initial team. This is where the situation becomes complicated. Mike's team has its own hacker, who takes control of the CCTV system and begins feeding Sarah fake surveillance footage. Sarah quickly realizes she is being deceived and immediately alerts Orson. Orson has his first confrontation with Mike's men. He successfully defends himself, making it clear that Mike's team is also after the hard drive. When Mike's men attempt to escape with Donald, Orson and JJ launch an attack. They rescue Donald and place him inside a waiting vehicle. Once inside the car, Donald suddenly becomes critically ill. He reveals that his wife had been taken hostage and that he was forced into this operation against his will. Realizing that death is near, he asks Nitin to disguise himself as Donald because Mike's team has never actually seen Donald's face. His final request is simple: "Please save my wife." Mike's men quickly surround the vehicle. Mike orders his team to cut open the trunk. Donald dies. Disguised as Donald, Nitin steps out carrying the hard drive. Mike takes possession of it. However, Nitin remains completely confident because Sarah has already cloned every piece of data stored on the drive. She has also reinforced its security to such an extent that opening the original drive is virtually impossible for Mike. After analyzing the cloned data, the team discovers that the primary buyer in the deal is Ben Harris, a member of a California mafia clan working under the infamous international arms dealer Gray. Gray is one of the world's most dangerous weapons traffickers. While searching for Gray's weakness, they discover that he is an obsessive fan of Hollywood actor Danny Francesco. Nitin immediately devises a plan to recruit Danny. Back in America, Orson meets Danny. At first, Danny refuses to participate in such a dangerous mission. Orson then shows him a secret video exposing Danny's illicit affair and threatens to release it publicly, which would completely destroy his career. With no other choice, Danny agrees. Orson, Danny, and Sarah attend a luxurious party aboard Gray's private yacht. Thrilled to meet his favorite movie star, Gray warmly welcomes Danny. Meanwhile, Sarah quietly moves through different rooms, planting hidden microphones and listening devices throughout the yacht. At the same time, Orson silently identifies and neutralizes Mike's operatives one by one. After some time, Gray invites Danny and Sarah to his mansion. They gladly accept because it offers their only opportunity to learn more about Gray's operation. Meanwhile, Nitin remains beneath the yacht, secretly listening to a conversation between Gray and one of his business partners. From their discussion, he learns that a $10 billion deal is about to take place, revealing the weapon's staggering market value. However, the buyer's identity remains unknown. Unable to gather any further information, Orson raids Gray's partner's house later that night. He releases sleeping gas through the air conditioning system, rendering everyone inside unconscious. He copies critical information from a laptop and, to cover up the data theft, breaks open a safe and steals cash and valuable items, making the entire operation appear to be an ordinary burglary. As Orson leaves the house, he encounters two guards. Without giving them any chance to react, he brutally takes them down. The next day, after analyzing the stolen data, the team finds nothing particularly useful. However, while reviewing the intercepted call recordings, Sarah discovers that a Turkish military official named Kasım had called Gray to inform him about everything that had happened the previous night. Sarah soon learns that Kasım is connected to Turkey's defense establishment and secretly assists Gray in arranging his deals. Nitin decides that they must travel to Turkey because Gray has invited them there, and his next deal with Kasım is scheduled to take place there. It is their only opportunity to uncover the identity of the real buyer. In Turkey, Gray proudly shows Danny his luxurious collection of classic cars and even gifts him an antique car that Danny greatly admires. Meanwhile, Orson and JJ begin tailing Kasım. Before long, they discover that Mike's team is also following him. This confirms that another group has also arrived in Turkey for the same deal. At the same time, Sarah hacks into Gray's computer system but finds no records of any major transaction. Nitin immediately realizes that Gray is merely acting as an intermediary rather than the actual mastermind behind the operation. While continuing to follow Kasım, Orson spots Ben Harris and begins tracking him instead. Ben quickly realizes he is being followed. He enters a building and hands his phone over to another man. When Orson enters the building, Ben launches a surprise attack. After a short but intense fight, Orson defeats him, and JJ arrives to retrieve Ben's unconscious, or possibly dead, body. Since Ben Harris's death could jeopardize the entire deal, Nitin informs the general and devises a risky plan. The real buyers have never met Ben in person, they have only spoken with him over the phone. Therefore, Orson will disguise himself as Ben, complete the deal, and seize the device at the perfect opportunity. Sarah completely hacks Ben's phone and uses a voice modulator to make Orson's voice sound exactly like Ben's. Disguised as Ben Harris, Orson arrives at the meeting point while JJ remains positioned at a distance, ready to provide sniper cover. Sergey arrives to collect the hard drive. A special code is required to unlock the disk. Speaking in Ben's voice, Orson calls Gray, who unknowingly provides the access code. At that very moment, Gray's security manager realizes that their entire system has been hacked. Meanwhile, Sergey's men begin to suspect Orson because he was the one who attacked the guards the previous night. As they move in to kill him, JJ immediately goes into action, eliminating them all with precise sniper fire. Sergey cancels the transaction and escapes the scene with Danny in a vehicle. As Orson attempts to retreat, a military helicopter suddenly arrives. It belongs to Mike. Mike's men open fire from the helicopter, killing everyone in sight, including some of their own men. Realizing he has no other option, Orson throws the hard drive toward them. Mike takes possession of the disk and immediately orders his men to kill Orson as well. JJ quickly shoots the helicopter's gunner, saving Orson's life. Meanwhile, Gray realizes that he has been trapped. He immediately orders his men to capture Danny and Sarah. As Sarah and Danny drive into a tunnel, Orson and JJ arrive in a helicopter and rescue them. They then detonate explosives at the entrance, collapsing the tunnel and preventing anyone from pursuing them. Nitin informs Orson that Mike is not working for any government agency. Instead, he is planning to conduct a massive deal on his own. The only way to recover the weapon from Mike is by using Gray. Orson and his team head to Gray's mansion. There, Orson blackmails Gray by threatening to hand over evidence of all his illegal operations to the government. Gray finally agrees to cooperate, but on one condition: Danny must accompany him. Gray and Danny travel to the secret location where Mike is preparing to meet the real buyers. There, the identities of the true buyers are finally revealed. They turn out to be Gray's former partners. They explain that their ultimate objective is to use the AI weapon to destroy the global fiat currency system, forcing the world to abandon paper money and adopt gold as the primary medium of exchange. Since they possess enormous reserves of gold, they would become unimaginably wealthy and powerful. Meanwhile, Orson secretly infiltrates the building and silently eliminates the guards one by one. By the time Orson reaches the main chamber, Gray deliberately manipulates the conversation in such a way that the buyers and Mike's men begin to distrust each other. Within moments, a massive gunfight erupts between both sides. When Orson finally enters the room, he finds nearly everyone dead. He locates the hunter-killer weapon. Mike, however, is still alive. After one final confrontation, Orson defeats Mike once and for all. Orson and his team successfully recover the weapon and safely deliver it to Nitin in Qatar. Overjoyed, Nitin announces that they will receive double their promised payment. He then smiles and reveals that there is still one more mission waiting for them.